Okay, we're here with John Amundson. He designed this board, as you can see. Amundson design. This is the 12.6 TRX. Oh, so this is the carbon one.
This is the carbon one.
Oh, okay.
So there's 4 pound difference between just the TR and the TRX. So, and with the TRX, there's a full carbon bottom, which eliminates a lot of weight, keeps it really stiff. So yeah, that's where we save on the 4 pounds.
So is this like what generation board of this would this be for you? I mean, have you made a bunch, testing them out, or is this kind of still an early generation?
Yeah, throughout the year, I'm always doing some customs, which help with it's basically prototyping with my customers. But we do have designs that are proven that work well. And then when we come to actual prototyping for our designs, I talk with Doug Hopkins and Aquaglide. We're a team, so we kind of go, okay, this is the direction we want to go. These are the people we want to build this board for. After we get that concept down and the sizes, then I start prototyping, actually physically prototyping. I do all my designing on a CAD program. I have my own CNC machine in shop, so it's really effective. I can actually, come in, design, shape a board, go test it, come back in from that session, design, maybe redesign, and then go into the CNC room and cut again. And so I can really turn around prototypes really quick that way.
So this board, you targeted what type of person, what type of rider?
We tried to make it very user-friendly for anybody. So from the beginner to the advanced rider and everybody in between. So first of all, it's really stable, so anybody can get on it and ride it off the bat. And any size rider, like we always found that the heavier riders, like over 200 pounds, we found that a lot of those guys had stability issues with a lot of low volume boards and unstable boards. Once they get up on it, that weight, once it goes to one side or the other, it really accentuates the problem. So, we wanted to make sure that we accommodated the larger rider with this design, and we did. But it doesn't exclude the light girl or the kids. The kids can get on it and have just as much fun. That stability as well helps on the more performance rider, say somebody who's doing downwinders. It's really stable, so they're actually able to keep going on the direction they want to go without having to correct or falling off and then having to make that time up again. So we found in actually some of the flat water races that had waves or wind or both, that this design actually beat a lot of very competitive 12.6s just because it was so stable.
So what about the design then? So give us maybe some of the design elements, what makes
some of
it
the
work.
Features. Well, again, like I said, the stability is first and foremost, and what I try to do is keep a lot of the 29-inch width all the way out to the rail. So all this surface is actually on the water to keep the thing stable, and as well as the tail. It's a nice wider tail. The nose pulls in quite nice, but still a little more width up in the front end too. And what that does, it's kind of like training wheels. It just keeps the thing really stable. If you pull that thing in real tight, then you tend to be a little more tippier. Another thing I did is kept a nice thick tail through here, and what this helps with is the downwinders. When you're catching swell, the swell comes in from behind and actually hits the back of the board, pushes you into the wave, so it gives you a kickstart. Once you get on the wave, then you can kind of move back and start actually surfing the swell. So that's what the square tail's all about. This sharp rail through, from the midpoint back helps release the water. So when the water comes, it just sheets off really clean, as opposed to a round tail where it would have to wrap and then release. That creates a lot of drag. So the sharp rails really keeps the board riding like it's riding on grease, just really slippery.
Is it concave on the bottom or is it flat?
It's flat, just dead flat from, I'd say, this point back. Maybe the last 2/3 is completely flat rail to rail.
Why'd you do that instead of making a concave or a double concave? Or
Well, a concave would set the whole board lower in the water. It may be a little bit stabler, you know, it'd be or maybe not stabler, but it'd be just as stable. It'd be kind of like outriggers on it. But I felt like it was really, I've done some concaves and double concaves, and it felt like it was really hard to redirect. If you got off course, it was hard to correct it back on, on course. So, but we're always playing with it. It's not necessarily a negative design aspect. It's just, for where we were going with our design, we wanted it to be universal and everybody have fun and be able to turn the board around real easy.
okay.
So, and then coming up to the nose here, we have, it did kind of a combination nose, something that has the split displacement, but also has a bit of rocker for the downwind. So in the flat water, it works really well, and on the downwinders, it has enough scoop in the nose to where it's really hard to bury the nose.
You did windsurfers before, right?
No.
Oh, only kiteboards?
Well, I started, I've been shaping surfboards since I was 15 years old, so it's been a lot of years. And then about 11 years ago, I got into kite surfing, and I started doing kiteboards, which opened my mind to tow surfboards, tow-in surfing, and then came stand-up paddling. So I'd say the kiteboarding definitely got me to open up my mind and actually look at other ways to ride waves and get out in the water. And then, since I've gotten into the stand-up thing, initially it was all wave riding for me. So I was building a lot of surf designs, and then I started getting into the flat water. And then I started, just getting into all aspects of stand-up paddling. So I feel really fortunate to be where I'm at and be able to explore all the different designs.